All right, guys. Good morning. As you can tell, you can't see a video. I found a way to give you guys a devotional. Hey, guys, I told you guys I would give you 5 devotionals this week for Holy Week. I promised it. I made a commitment to it, and I'm sticking to it. But this is the audio one. I'll tell you why. We just got home. It is 1:16 in the morning, and I got to get up at 7. Sharon has to get up earlier than that. And, yeah, Sharon fell. She fell. She kind of twisted her ankle getting out of the car. And we just got home. For those of you that are members, make sure you check your members because we did there's a video for memberships. There's a video there. It's already uploaded. If you're listening to this, it's already there. I know I say that because not all the members are getting notifications when we put up member videos. For those of you that have no idea what I'm talking about, it's for those that choose to join and be a member of this channel, they get some videos that are just for them. So, anyways, Sharon, you hurt your ankle and her knee and her hip. She was getting stuff. She was getting stuff out of her trunk, out of the car, and right where we live, the sidewalk. Well, no, not even sidewalk. The street is like cracks, and I think she stepped in it wrong and twisted her ankle, and she almost fell. I mean, she did fall, but it could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse because her head was heading straight to my hitch, the ball hitch, and I stopped her head from hitting it probably like maybe 3 inches away. That would have been really bad. Anyways, it's 1:17 in the morning, guys. I do want to get into a passage here because it is Holy Week, and hopefully you got to watch the Bible study. Anyways, I was saying real quick, the reason I'm doing an audio, guys, is it's late, and in order to do a video, I would have to set up the laptop and the webcam and the microphone, and I am exhausted, guys. So here's the audio devotional. The Bible study consisted of things that Jesus did during the week between Palm Sunday and the Last Supper. But there was one thing that he did that I did not talk about, and it's a parable. And I wanted to talk about that parable. He said this parable, he shared this story within the Holy Week days before he was crucified. And I'm going to go ahead and read it and just talk about it here in Matthew chapter 21, verses 28 to 32. And in the words of Jesus, he says, "What do you think? A man had 2 sons, and he went to the first and said, 'Son, go and work in the vineyard today.' And he answered, 'I will not.' But afterward, he changed his mind and went. And he went to the other son and said the same. And he answered, 'I go, sir,' but did not go. Which of the 2 did the will of his father?" And they said, "The first." And Jesus said to them, "Truly I say to you, the tax collectors and the prostitutes go into the kingdom of God before you. For John came to you in the way of righteousness, and you did not believe him. But the tax collectors and the prostitutes believed him. And even when you saw it, you did not afterward change your minds and believe him." That's a pretty heavy parable, man. Obviously, when he's talking about the sons, he's talking about the sons of Israel. He's talking about the sons of Abraham. You know, and the reason he's saying that, he's making the comparison, is because he's talking to religious authorities. Because if you go to the verses before it, he has a disagreement. They had a disagreement with him because they were just like, "Who gives you authority to teach like this?" So we know that he's talking to the religious leaders. And he's basically saying, so a father has two sons, and one says, no, I don't want to do it, but then he does it. And the other son says, yeah, I'll do it, but he never does it. And he's talking to them because they're just like super religious. They're like, yeah, we'll do it, we'll do it. But then they don't. But those that are lost, that are sinners, that are prostitutes and tax collectors, the worst of the worst, they're like the son that says, I don't want to do it. But eventually they do. And then he compares it to, and he makes a comparison and talks about John the Baptist. That's why he says, for John came to you in the way of righteousness, and you did not believe him. But the tax collectors and the prostitutes believed him. And it's like, guys, if you're listening to this and you came from maybe a horrible background, a horrible life, hardships, a hard life, where maybe the world would reject you, but yet you heard the gospel, somebody shared Jesus with you, and even though you were living wrong, there was just something about the message that made you just fall madly in love with Jesus. And that's what he's saying. He's like, I'm here talking to you guys, and you who know the Bible are rejecting me. But the sinners gravitate toward me. And I think that that's a message that still applies today. And it's like, sometimes you meet people that are self-righteous. Maybe because they never were drug addicted, or never were incarcerated, or never were, maybe they had a perfect, beautiful life. They were never raped or molested or beat up, and they consider themselves better because they didn't go through those things. But then you have the one that's broken. It reminds me of this other parable that Jesus said, that there's a man that goes to the temple. And see, the Jewish people, when they would pray, they would point their faces upward toward God. And I say that to say this, that Jesus said there was a story of two men. Two were at the temple. And the first one began to pray and had his face to the dirt. And he said, Lord, I'm a sinner that I'm not even worthy to look up at you. Please forgive me. And the other man came up, saw that sinner, and his prayer was, Lord, I thank you because I'm not like this sinner. And the Lord said, who do you think that God forgave? He forgave the one that humbled himself. So if you feel unworthy because of your past, you're exactly the person who's looking for it. Because guys, we're not worthy because of ourselves. We're worthy because we have him in us. In Modesto off the freeway, I think 2 blocks away from the church, 2 exits away from the church, there's a wrecking yard you could easily see right off the freeway right there. And there's cars that are smashed and rusted and busted windows and wrecked and, just a mess. And if you keep going a few more exits, you'll eventually go to a car lot with brand new shiny cars. And imagine if these vehicles could talk or have feelings. The ones in the car lot, brand new cars, 2023s, if they could talk, they'd sit there and be like, wow, look at us. Look how beautiful and shiny we are. Look at our dashboards. Look at our nice, clean windows and beautiful wheels and tires. At least we're not like those ugly cars down the freeway in that junkyard. The junkyard that everyone ignores. And imagine the cars in the junkyard. Imagine if they could talk. And they would say, man, I remember I used to be shiny and nice before I was damaged, before somebody came and wrecked me, before I wrecked myself. And now I'm here as a heap of garbage, waiting to be crushed and turned into a cube. Nobody wants me. I will never run again. I will never ride on that freeway again. You know, it's weird because in a way, it's almost like the freeway mocks those cars, because those cars can see the cars driving by, and yet they would never drive on that freeway ever again. But imagine the Lord. Imagine the Lord comes and says, I want to find a car. And he goes to the car lot and he says, I love restoring things, but none of these cars need me because they're beautiful and shiny without me. And they talk very pompously. And he doesn't like none of them because there's nothing he can do for them, because they're self-righteous. And then he keeps going down the freeway and he sees that ugly wrecking yard with wrecks in there. And he pulls in. And what one person sees as junk, he sees as beautiful. He sees an old Oldsmobile and says, man, I could really fix that car up. And he sees an old truck all rusted and he says, I think I could cut that rust out and fix that, put new tires on it. And he sees a bent up motorcycle. He says, I think I could take that to my shop and straighten the handlebars out. You see, the world rejects those cars. That's why they're considered, you know, when you get in a wreck, they said, oh no, the insurance says it's total. It's totaled out. It's no good. And many of you listening to this right now, the world says that you're totaled out, that you're no good. And they just dump you to the side. But the Lord sees a treasure. He sees something he can work with. He says, there's nothing impossible for me. I can make everything brand new. I can make it shiny again. I can make it clean again. I can make it beautiful again. That's the gospel, my friend. That's why we worship him. Because he's so good to us. So even though we were the ones saying, I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. But yet, over time, we do what it is that he asked of us. And that's what this parable is about. It's about you and me. So with that, I pray that you have a blessed day. We're going to live stream this one time because it's Holy Week, Pastor Al, so he will be on tonight at 7. He's going to be having communion, so have the juice and the cracker ready. On Friday, we're going to live stream our Good Friday service. We're going to have communion again. So we're going to have an amazing time of worship, and, well, you'll see. It's just, you have to experience it. On Saturday night, we're going to have a night of worship at 7 o'clock. If you're local, please come. If you're not, then we're going to live stream it for you. And finally, Sunday morning, 10 o'clock, our regular service. If you're going to come early, because it's going to fill up. So, all right, guys. God bless you. Have a blessed day. Say good morning, guys. All right. See you guys later. Bye.